So let me then describe my impression. But let's look in both directions, east and west. Yes, it is absolutely true that to 99% every economic activity that Mercedes does in Germany, through our own earned cash flow, we pay for ourselves and invest. That is the way business should work, and politics provides a framework. So quite seldom do we go to you and say, could you please be a venture capital investor, and by the way, you're not going to get your money back. Seldom we do this, but we do this in Europe as well. And we are thankful for the build-up of our new, hopefully European battery champion, ACC, that we're doing together with Stellantis and Total, that the EU so far has granted this consortium around 1.2 billion euro in grants. So in essence, Europe is giving us, I mean, we could do it probably without that money, but it improves our competitiveness. Now I go to China and I watch what has happened there over the last 20 or so years. So you have 130 companies selling battery electric vehicles in China. It's far too many. The competition is Darwinistic. In the volume entry segment, there's a price war. For many of those companies, I would say it's more likely than not that provinces that wanted to create jobs, have a sense of pride, etc., primarily in competition with each other, because for the first 15 years it was not obvious at all that any one of these Chinese would be able to go global, but now they're trying. They were in competition with each other. So province 1 against province 2, province 3, and I am absolutely sure that they have gifted some of the investment, like the example I made with ACC, and I'm sure that they have received capital with very little interest, perhaps no interest. And by the way, what I know of Tesla's investment in Shanghai, they have enjoyed the same. It's not a Chinese company, it's a foreign company, and they are exporting those vehicles to Europe on top of the ones that they make here. We have not received perhaps as much subsidies. Now, we were an early mover in China, and you went into joint venture. So in another way, you could say, because we share the investments, the state-owned enterprise that we're operating with, they pay for half the investment, we pay for half the investment. They get a return, we get a return. But it is probably likely that we as a venture have received less subsidies than maybe some of these startups. In the United States, because this is important now, with the Inflation Reduction Act, if we were an American company and we had a fully industrialized, non-export-based relationship with the United States, which we don't, if we had to do that, we would have to close a couple of plants in Germany and build new plants in the United States. We don't have it. It's completely unrealistic. It's politically unrealistic. It's also economically, in the short term, unrealistic. Now, we're going to take advantage of the IRA as much as we can, but we will make some benefit from that. Without naming any names, if I were an American startup selling 600,000 cars in the United States, getting the full $7,500 plus the $4,500 on the purchasing side, the American taxpayer would hand me $7 billion or more every single year. I don't think we're going to get that from Christian Lindner. How are we going to react to that? So I am acutely aware of the imperfections of this direct or indirect protectionism. But if Europe's answer would be, and I'm not saying that it is, that we raise a barrier to negate that advantage, it's going to hurt us more than it's going to help us. So if you do anything, I don't think it is affordable, is you put the same amount of money for the players that do business in Europe. Then it would actually not hurt us, it would help us. I don't think it's politically possible. I think Europe can afford it, but whatever can be done, that's what I would do. And that is why I am worried that such investigations could lead to a tit for tat, and it will be a net minus for us.